We're live. Welcome. Whoa. Boom. Here we are. It's Sleeveless Saturdays at the Loser Leaves Wrestling Compound. Let's go. Let's show them. Look at you. More and more buff each week, Roy.
I know.
More and more buff.
You too. You're a beefcake. You're a true beefcake.
I'm working on beefcake. As we know, it's been a long journey to be beefcake. I'm almost at whose body would I say I'm in a similar range to? Big Show. Like when he was trying to go for the abs.
Okay.
I'm not too far from that. I'm not too far from that.
I got like 2009, 10.
No. I'm talking about 2017 when he's got the old man abs. I think I'm starting to get those top layer abs. I have those top layer abs.
Yeah.
Top layer. I'll never get the bottom layer. Hey, never in a million years. But I don't want them. I don't want them.
Who needs them?
I'm going for John Goodman's body. You know.
All right, from circa current John Goodman.
No.
I don't know.
Hopefully never. Flintstones.
Okay. Yeah, he's in good shape for Flintstones.
Oh yeah. I'm right there.
You're
right there.
Flintstone.
Welcome to the show, everyone. This is Loser Leaves Wrestling. This is the weekly Wrestle volume. What is this?
31.
31.
Think about the wrestling world in the last 31 shows. Really like 33, 34 weeks because we missed a few weeks.
Vince was like, I'll never retire. Retire me. I'll never retire.
Yeah.
What a time. This is going to be a very centered weekly wrestle. We're not going to talk about Rampage, even though we'll talk maybe a little bit about the rap battle on the who's and what's this coming week.
Yeah, and you should also check out, I would venture to say that potentially there's a podcast in the works with Ring of Honor being a thing today.
Oh, is that tonight?
That's tonight. Yeah, it's tonight.
So much wrestling. There's tonight, then tomorrow there's what?
Nothing.
Oh.
Next week, Saturday is SummerSlam. Sunday is Ric Flair's last match. Next week.
Okay. Is that, I thought, weird. Joe's in the chat. Breaking news. Vincenzo McMahon, no relation, buys Impact, GCW, and MLW. That's very funny. Joe writes, slow news week, huh? What to discuss? Yeah. Well, let's start talking about it. We should probably talk about it, right, Ryan?
I think we should. It's so funny. I was so excited to talk about something very specific, but now that's like much lower on the list. Oh,
I'm sure it'll be in my news.
Yeah.
I got the protein powder going down the wrong shape. Let's start talking about it. Let's go to this first slide there, Tam. All right. It's all over the news. Vince McMahon has retired, has left his post at the age 77. Not only is he no longer chairman, which he's already given up. Although he was chairman, but he wasn't CEO anymore. He's no longer head of creative. And he is stepping down from all his responsibilities to go retire off into the sunset of jail. And we are going to, let's talk about some of this. It broke hours before SmackDown.
So it broke at 4:05 Eastern time, 5 minutes after the stock market closed.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart. Well, I guess that's what you have to make that move.
Right.
But after the stock market crashes, you have a weekend to recover.
Right.
Before the mayhem happens Monday morning.
Yep.
And so right before SmackDown, threw SmackDown into mass confusion, Roy.
Yeah.
Mass confusion. And I'd imagine so, because they're like if Vince is going to retire, why wouldn't he do it on TV?
Well, it was the Brock Lesnar stuff that I found most interesting.
Yeah, but I have a question just before we get to that. Yeah. Why didn't Vince do it on TV? Knowing Vince, why didn't he just say, like, have his retirement thing? Like, I'm gonna have he said I'm gonna be on SmackDown when the allegations broke. He's like, I'm gonna be on SmackDown tonight, and he's like, live together, fight for together, whatever.
Yeah.
Why didn't he have his retirement speech at the end of the night?
That's a good question. I think it was intentional. It was a business move. I think I would even venture to say that, like, he came out on SmackDown and did that weird thing, and then went backstage and was like, fuck him, yeah. But then I think someone sat him down, whether it was Nick Khan, whether it was other board members, and they were like, no. This is real, and this is serious, and you can't just, like, come on TV and people will cheer for you. Like, that's fine. They may always love you, but what you did is serious, and we take it seriously, and it's a bad look for the company. So you can't do that again. So essentially, I think what happened was they were like, okay, you got to retire, so you're going to retire the way you did it. Send out statements, whatever. And then Stephanie is the one who's going to go on television and basically do what you would have done.
You want to hear my conspiracy theory about this?
Give me that crackpot theory.
Wasn't his choice.
I don't think it was. I
know it definitely wasn't his choice, but I'm saying Stephanie's choice. Stephanie says, you're retired, Dad. Dad, you're retired. No, I'm not. I just sent out the tweet. We're retired. Let me see it on SmackDown. I'll let them know.
Yeah, I'll just tell
them. And that's what Stephanie did. She went on SmackDown, said it, and then the Brock Lesnar's thing. So Brock Lesnar, before the SmackDown went on, he was supposed to be on the show. He said, if he's not here, I'm not here.
Yeah,
and he left. Which makes me think, like, there's a lot to unpack here, but he did show back up on SmackDown. Did you hear about that, Roy?
Yeah, he ended up coming back. I mean, it made sense to me. I was looking for, because did you see Vince McMahon's internal memo to all talent about his retirement?
It was a little cute.
I like that he said, OMG, am I really that old? So funny.
That was not him. That is Stephanie McMahon. That is Stephanie McMahon's memo. He has been cut off from communication. I don't know that to be true, but, like, honestly, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it's great. Look. I'm sure our loyal viewing audience wants me to come in here and undercut Vince McMahon's accomplishments and tear him apart. And look, and to a certain extent, yeah, I will. But really, like, who cares? He's gone. He's done. And you know what? Corporately, business-wise, he's done nothing in the last 5 years but drive up the value of the company. But creative-wise, week-to-week, TV-wise, he's done nothing but drive it into the fucking ground. Yeah. So garbage. We'll see what happens. I mean, that's the thing that's really exciting is if Bruce Pritchard is the one who takes over television, then who gives a shit? It's going to be the same. But if Stephanie and Paul, a.k.a. Triple H, I called him Paul, that's weird.
Let's call him Paul.
Yeah, because now he's corporate. So
Paul.
If Triple H gets his way, it ain't going to be Bruce. It might be Paul Heyman. It might be Triple H. Then we're talking some different things. And I didn't watch SmackDown last night, but I listened to Alvarez and Meltzer talk about it. And Alvarez said, like, obviously you're not going to see changes overnight, but there were some subtle changes, like Michael Cole called the people in the arena fans and not the WWE universe. He said that the commentary was much calmer and it wasn't as intense. He said that the New Day mentioned Ring of Honor and mentioned maybe New Japan. Like, these little changes are starting. And look, I'm not going to start watching these shows on a weekly basis yet. You need to prove it to me. You need to do 2 to 3 weeks of good television before I'll spend my time. But
I'm back in.
I'm open to it. I'm open.
I'm back in. I'm WWE all the way. Let's go.
Bring the original Bray Wyatt back. Bring him back as not the Fiend. Bring him back as an interesting character.
Or a new thing, that whatever he wants to do.
100%. Bring in Gargano. I know you don't like Gargano, but with Triple H, that might be helpful. Let Ciampa be Ciampa. Give Butch a last name. Let these people do what they want to do. Let them be wrestlers.
Well, let's not get crazy. Leave Butch alone. Let's not go crazy with it. Butch is doing a fine job as Butch. But the mass confusion, just to talk a little bit about another thing that came out. Did you hear about Paul London talking about Ashley Mazzaro?
No, bring that. You mentioned it to me briefly, but let's talk about it.
So Paul London brought up in an interview that he was dating Ashley Mazzaro at some point, and I believe that's why there's some tension between him and Matt Hardy. They don't like each other because they both dated Ashley
really?
like consecutively with each other.
I saw some video of Paul London making fun of Matt Hardy once, and it was pretty.
It's very funny. Yeah. But he was saying how like Ashley Mazzaro was constantly like harassed by Vince, and like he saw it where he'd like ask her to come on the private jet, and it was like kind of like this weird circumstance where he didn't ask anyone but Ashley Mazzaro, and there was this weird expectations with it, and that just
we're familiar with people who do that.
But I did want to talk. You mentioned it before, Brock Lesnar walking out, and I want to talk specifically about that because, which also leads me to believe that not only was it not his choice, I think he was forced out of this position. It wasn't him being like it's best for the company,
100%.
And I think Brock, like, I'm sure Vince is like, I'm never gonna leave. They're gonna have to kick me out. And the minute they're like, Vince isn't here, he's just like, oh, I'm not here either.
Yeah,
you kicked Vince out, and because the top stars, he's a cult figure. Yeah, he's like Vince, with Stone Cold and Brett and Shawn and Brock and Foley. No,
Brett a little less so because he got screwed.
Now,
but up until then,
like they would have. That was their dad.
Yeah.
That
and the
was
thing
their
is,
dad.
Too, more so, Brock more so than any other wrestler in the history of the company, except maybe Shawn. Brock got millions of dollars for like 4 matches a year. Even when Shawn was in complete control and Vincent let him do whatever he wanted, Shawn was still on house shows and still working a lot. Brock never really works. He's the biggest star in the company. He does whatever he wants. He never gets yelled at. He yells at Vince, and then Vince goes, "Hey, asshole," and then they're fine again.
Throws a belt at Vince's head. He's like, "Hey, asshole."
Yeah, and that's it. You know, I would be like, good. Well, I'm never gonna get better if Vince is gone. The person who lets me do whatever I want and gives me all this money is gone. I might as well get out now.
He's gonna do the same thing. He's gonna get everything.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I
because
think in the long run, they're done with him. What else can they do with him? There's nothing left. They need to make new stars, and Triple H needs to focus on making new stars. I hate the guy, and I think he's bad, but Riddle is someone that they need to elevate. Like, they need to elevate more people.
But wait, Brock has a lot left to offer.
Sure,
like, saying that he's in great shape. His level of entertainment hasn't gone down. As a matter of fact, it's gotten better the past year. Like, I care about him more the past year than I did the past 4.
Here's my thing. If I may. I agree with that, but Brock Lesnar, okay, 2 things real quick. If you get the opportunity, watch Stone Cold and Sami Zayn. It's fantastic. It's really, really wonderful. You
hear that noise?
Oh, now I do, yeah. Stone Cold Sessions or whatever it's called, Broken Skull Sessions. Sami Zayn is on it. It's great. And Sami Zayn talks about his debut against John Cena on Raw where he tears his shoulder and how hard Cena worked to make sure that he got over. I don't see Brock doing the same for new talent. Think about all the people that Brock fought. He fought Joe. He fought Strowman. You know, he's only really fought like either Drew McIntyre or Roman Reigns for the last like 3 years.
And that's not his fault.
I'm not saying it is, but I don't know if he wants to work that hard to elevate another talent. I mean, he elevated Drew McIntyre by losing to him in like 5 seconds. There needs to be real matches. I don't know if he wants to work that hard is all I'm saying.
But I don't think he needs to work that hard. John Cena's a different animal. I think Brock Lesnar losing in 5 seconds does more for that person than John Cena having a great match with you for 20.
It's possible.
You know, I think like what he did at the Royal Rumble specifically when he got Claymore kicked over was one of the best Royal Rumble moments. Made Drew McIntyre look like $1 million and Ricochet and McIntyre
and
eliminated him.
I'm saying he made Keith Lee
look good. He made a bunch of people look good in that match.
That night he did.
Yeah,
3 or 4 people.
Big E looked good for the moment. Yeah, Big E lifted up for the big ending.
Yeah, for a moment.
Yeah, but like the thing is,
did they hit the big ending?
Oh yeah, he hit it on him. We have some comments here, a lot of comments. I did post a picture of Vince McMahon inside Big Show's ass when he got his head shoved up there, and we Joe writes, "How much was the NDA for that pic?" Brooklyn Bleak says, "Oh, what a picture." Joe writes, I'd say don't drop the soap, but I hear he's into that. Let's come on, Joe.
All right.
The decision was made last week, so the higher ups had time to prepare. Plus, him saying goodbye live on TV is a weekend's like sneezing. I don't know, but that sounds poetic. Yeah. Joe writes, none of it was his choice. Sorry, is a weakness like sneezing. Oh, it's weakness like sneezing. Okay.
See. Yeah, because it's not his decision.
Yeah. Brooklyn Bleak says, I'd go further. That only did it remove himself as a figure to the company. The co-CEOs are his daughter and his handpicked crony. He's still controlling stuff from behind the scenes. Brooklyn Bleak, I disagree.
You really think so? You really think it has nothing to do with anything? He's also still the controlling stakeholder, so nothing can happen without his permission.
No. Everything could happen without his permission.
Business-wise.
But in terms of creative, I think a lot of people, Stephanie and Triple H included, are frustrated. Did you see? If you want proof, look at NXT before and after. Just look what Triple H did with NXT, and then look at WWE's product during same time frame. They have completely different visions. Visions.
Imagine being Triple H, and you sit down on a Wednesday night to watch Dynamite, and you see Keith Lee, you see Malachi Black, you see Shane Strickland, and I don't blame or fault Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly. I don't fault Tony Khan at all for signing all of those guys because they're great. They're great professional wrestlers. And they were great before the WWE, but they've gotten, and this is a shout out to you. I'm gonna agree with you on this. They've gotten the more polished version of all of these wrestlers, and all of that polish comes from Triple H. Yeah. So the fact,
and William Regal,
of course, and now they've got Regal, and they've got Joe, all of these Triple H literally.
Don't jump forward with that. We're going to talk about Triple H in a second. So can you put a pin in that?
They fired Joe, and then he brought Joe back, and now Joe's still in AEW. So I'm just saying, there's obviously some frustration there, and some things need to change. And if I'm Triple H, I'm going full steam ahead to try to make this into my own vision. I'm going to give Walter or Riddle the title, and I'm going to make the title mean something again. I'm not going to put it on a part-timer.
Want to know what I say? Have Brock Lesnar get the title. Hear me? Yeah. Brock Lesnar win the title. Beat Roman Reigns. Fine. Have him go until the Royal Rumble. And you know who beats him at the Royal Rumble? Walter. Walter beats Brock Lesnar.
But then Cody wins the Rumble and fights Walter in the main event. That's insane. Imagine a Cody Walter WrestleMania main event.
Yeah.
That's batshit. Yeah. I mean, it would be great if you built it up right. It's great.
Because that's an awesome America versus the Nazi.
And nothing is more American than Cody Rhodes.
But let's move to the next part. It's next slide there, Tam. As we already pre-mentioned, Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan are now the co-CEOs. They are the co-CEOs, which I do feel is a changing of the guard. I do not feel that Stephanie is a crony. I think every McMahon thinks they're the best McMahon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Every McMahon thinks they're the best McMahon. And unless they have to, they don't listen to other McMahons.
Yeah.
I
think Stephanie is the best McMahon.
I think
from
she's
a business
the best
standpoint,
person.
From everything I've heard, from everything I've heard about her, she's really approachable. She's really considerate. She goes out of her way to shake people's hands. And maybe she's just a sociopath. That might be true. But she's not going to snap. I heard a story I was listening to Renee Paquette on something, and she was saying that Vince McMahon would just yell at her. We've always heard about Vince yelling at people in his headsets, but he would just yell things like, "You fucked that segment up. That sucked. Fuck you." Shit like that to her. Stephanie's not doing that. Stephanie's not going to produce these people. No. Michael Cole, leave that fucking guy alone. He's been doing this for over 20 years.
Deaf. Yeah. He's deaf. Now that next slide there, Tam, Triple H takes over as head of talent relations.
Love it.
So I'm giving Bruce Pritchard 6 weeks. 6 weeks before Something Wrestle has a lot more to talk about.
No, I hope so.
I want to listen to that show again once he's gone because I don't see him around for long. He's taking over talent relations, which is amazing, taking over from Johnny Laurinaitis officially.
Yeah. And people really,
talent
like him.
is stoked.
Yeah.
Talent are stoked that and also just think, like you were mentioning before, if Triple H, just thinking Brooklyn Bleak, to your point of and nothing's gonna change. If Triple H was head of talent relations the past 2-3 years, he would never have let go of Keith Lee. Never have let go of Adam Cole.
He would have never rebranded Killer Kross. Right.
William Regal wouldn't have left. Like it's just
William Regal would probably be the VP of talent relations, and Triple H would just be running everything. You know?
So I do not think there. There's some comments here. Brooklyn Bleak says this was bothering the money, and he's still the majority stock owner, right? Yeah, that's business. That's business, not creative.
And at the end of the day, like, we can talk business all we want, but we really care about the creative. We want the trickle down effect of the creative.
You're damn right. Brooklyn Bleak says Ashley Mazzaro's when it really sunk in the WWE was horrible. Then the stuff from the past plus now, there's a fan-made documentary on what happened to her in WWE. It's so fucked up. Yeah. Did you hear about some of the things that happened?
I know something about a plane ride, something in Iraq.
No, it's yeah. And it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
Woodsy the Beast says Brock versus Braun Strowman. Oh, but Woodsy's in the chat. I'm sorry, I didn't give anyone noises. Squirrel. That's for everyone that just joined. Woodsy the Beast says Brock versus Braun Breaker could be awesome. Sure,
make them. Yeah, make them. Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, I would actually prefer Walter versus Braun Breaker.
I'd also prefer Braun Breaker to go by Rex Steiner than Braun Breaker.
Do it. Let's
bring the names back.
Sometimes when they bring them from NXT to WWE to the main roster, they change. Maybe that's the change we need. Brooklyn Bleak says, search Darker Side of Wrestling, Ashley Massar on YouTube, if anyone is interested. Yeah, I've definitely heard it, and but definitely look it up to hear how bad the WWE is.
Awful.
Joe writes, while I don't think he's in control anymore, I can't see Steph doing anything to upset him. What? The kids love to upset. We think that they're all little minions of Vince. No, he created little monsters.
Well, I mean, Shane literally left the company because he didn't get what he wanted.
And also, there's always been talk of like Stephanie kind of being like having her own agenda. Stephanie having her own agenda, Shane having their own agenda. Like, so he created little monsters, not little minions. Joe writes, how long till they are sold now? How much value is lost without Vince? I don't think they're going to be sold yet. I think they want to prove something. I think Stephanie wants her hand, because this isn't going to be if Stephanie leaves, is she going to be CEO of another company? Maybe, but this is the legacy.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. I mean, I think we'll see. I don't think anything's going to happen for the next 12 to 24 months.
I see Vince selling before I see Stephanie selling.
Yeah. Well, Vince apparently, I didn't know this, but Vince had been trying to sell since 2016, but he wants to beat the UFC offer, which was $4 billion, and no one's giving him anything close to that. So he's not selling.
$4 billion was the offer?
Yeah, for UFC.
Interesting. Yeah. That's funny. Then Joe writes, how long till Triple H leads creative? Bye, Bruce. Soon.
I hope so.
So soon. Because one of the thing is, they don't want that old stink everywhere. It's old stink, Roy.
Yeah. Well, Kevin Dunn's got to go. Jeremy Borash has to take over for Kevin Dunn, who Triple H was grooming in NXT.
That's awesome.
I like to think that might happen. I hope so.
Well, actually, Dunn might be under an investigation for dropping stock before things happen, you know?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. We just got to get back to, it's going to be much easier to watch a WWE program when there's not so many cuts, and it's like easier. It's just easier to watch.
Want what? Woodsy the Beast has a really fun thing here. Triple H's lips are salivating for MJF.
Oh, sure. And that's the other thing. As Tony Khan needs to be aware that, like, if Vince isn't there anymore,
things change.
Yeah.
It's much more desirable to be at WWE again.
Well, imagine, again, like a Keith Lee.
They loved NXT.
Yeah, exactly. And the main roster just kind of becomes NXT, and now, like, the Undertaker's gone, retired. Randy Orton's got a back injury. Who knows if he's coming or going? Roman Reigns is part-time. Brock Lesnar's obviously part-time. So who are the guys? Who are the guys right now? Let's think about it, right? So we got Drew McIntyre, who came from NXT, his second go-around. You've got Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, NXT Triple H guys. You've got Riddle he's an NXT guy. And it's just so if I'm Keith Lee, I'm like, oh, here are all of my friends and all of the people who came from NXT, like, the culture is probably going to be pretty good because the culture at NXT was pretty good. I probably want to go back there. Like, there's going to be, now this sets off the talent swap. Like, this really does it. If they go in this direction, if Bruce Pritchard's in charge and Nick Khan's in charge, I'm just telling you, he might be.
Stephanie hates Bruce Pritchard. Stephanie hates Bruce Pritchard.
I believe it.
Stephanie hates Bruce Pritchard. She's more friends with Paul Heyman than Bruce Pritchard.
I would love for Paul Heyman. And then Paul Heyman takes over creative.
They still don't like each other, Paul and Stephanie.
I think they respect each other.
Yeah. But man, oh man, cannot wait.
Saying, what an idea.
Brooklyn Bleak says Steph's good, but that women's revolution stuff is crap. Impact had women's tag stuff and a feud of Gail Kim versus Awesome Kong, Hamada Taylor, Wild, Sarita was all having great matches before. Oh, no doubt.
100%.
No doubt. But like, she led the WWE's revolution. That's how we have to think of it. Is like, if there's a change in WWE, even though it wasn't a wrestling, because like Impact was doing it 10 years before.
100%.
10 years before.
Good call out.
Thanks, Brooklyn Bleak. Joe writes, Vince's lips are souring for MJF too. We already said that. Who said that? Wizzy to Be said that, Joe.
Yeah, he's backing it up.
Boy, that's going to be an expensive hush settlement.
If MJF hasn't already signed a contract.
Yeah.
Imagine MJF, how pissed he probably is now if he did sign an extension. Even if he got the money he wanted. Now that Vince is gone, he's like, man, I could have probably had even more leverage.
And not only that, because Vince being gone, like a lot of the things that MJF would want to do and get away with, he wouldn't underneath Vince control.
Right.
But with like on NXT 2017, he'd get away with a lot of this
100%.
shit. So like, it's very interesting. But we have to move on, Roy. We have to move on. We have to move on to the next slide there. We're going to talk about AEW. AEW has some positive news on the horizon. Oh, yeah. All Out, which is happening in what, 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
Month and a half.
Oh, wow.
6 weeks. 5-6 weeks.
There's expected to be 3 big returns. Did you hear about this?
How about this?
Punk, Bryan Danielson, and possibly Kenneth Omega.
And Adam Cole.
Oh, okay.
That's a big deal.
Oh, sure. It's a big deal. No, you said it.
Triple H would be so upset if he heard you right now.
He's not. Be upset at me. Hire me. Hear my take. I don't know if that works. But expected these big returns, and they need it. They need it, Roy.
It's funny. People have been saying that for a few weeks, but I'm like, come on. No, they need it. They do need it.
You don't think they need it?
No. I was in denial about the fact that they needed it, but they need it. They do, because they don't have a guy right now, and that's why I put in the Discord a few weeks ago. No one responded to it, so I guess no one agreed with me that I miss Cody. Yeah, because like in times like this, Cody would step up, and even Moxley's doing his thing, but Moxley's part of Blackpool. Like he's the thing about Punk is that Punk was the guy.
Punk is everything Tony Khan wanted as a wrestling champion. He's everything AEW represents is CM Punk.
Yeah. So very similar with Moxley, except for the fact that Moxley's in a group, and the group's not really to. I get it, I understand, but we need those guys back.
And John Moxley, like Cody handles his creative, CM Punk handles his creative, Danielson handles his creative. Moxley, if he does. It's not great.
If he does, it's like, I want to fight this guy. I want to kill him. All right, go for it.
It's not like it's not someone that's going to step up and kind of be like, okay, here's some vision that I'm going to bring to the table with you, Tony Khan. It's kind of like, that'd be a sick match. I could do that sick match.
Even Danielson, though. I mean, I miss Danielson from just like having a great match with an interesting person every week.
Yeah, but also he's a smart mind. He knows how to book himself. Woodsy to Be says Triple H is also about to save the IC belt. They already saved it with Walter. Walter's holding it still, right?
Yeah, but is he? The problem is they give these titles to these guys and then they don't do anything. It's like, but he's the champion. Yeah, but who's he feuding with?
It's going to change, dog.
I hope so.
Let's watch Raw. Let's watch Raw this week. Let's just watch Raw.
I'll give you like a couple of weeks.
I'm going to watch. I want to see.
What?
Like you said about SmackDown, those little changes. I want to see the little changes.
Yeah, sure.
I want to mark out when they're just like, this is the best wrestling on the planet.
Yeah. Well,
I want to lose. I want to pop.
What's his face? Who's pretty good. Their lead commentator on Mondays, who's like the UFC guy and not a wrestling guy. He's fine. His name's Joe or something. He's fine, but time to bring back Morrow.
Honestly, yes. There was almost something I put in the news. Meltzer was talking about how AEW and Morrow were in talks a little bit ago. That. But honestly, I don't think AEW needs them.
No.
I think WWE needs him.
He needs to be the voice of Raw.
Voice of Raw.
Him and Corey Graves. Get rid of Byron Saxton. Just him and Corey Graves.
Yes.
Sorry, Byron. Go to NXT. I don't know.
Bye. Yeah, no friend.
Go to main event.
Or why not be a manager? He seems like someone I could hate.
Yeah, be a manager. That's a good call. He was a wrestler.
He's a wrestler. He can take some bumps. And honestly, he's someone that feels easy to hate.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? Yeah. Brooklyn Bleak says everybody online is also screaming for the firing of Kevin Dunn, like mom mentality level of hate for him. Lol. Yeah, he's gone. Dudes.
Bye.
Brooklyn Bleak, I bet they'll maybe well, not yet, because I'm sure they're gonna do baby steps. They don't want to clear house.
Yeah, you can't do it overnight. Which is why I'm not watching Raw on Monday. I'm gonna wait a few weeks.
We gotta. Brooklyn Bleak says, I bet they'll maybe introduce the trios titles when those big guys come back. Maybe, I don't know, shrugs. That's, I guess, their plan for when Kenny and
I think it's Kenny and the Bucks versus Cole, O'Reilly, and Fish for the trios titles. Okay. That's awesome. Sorry if that's too indie-rific for you, but it's awesome. What is that? Who's hammering in the background?
They're renovating underneath me, and they start at 7:30 Monday through Saturday, and they go until 5:30. And at least they're not blasted. This is what the music they play that they blast, because I guess my floor is made out of cardboard. And they either blast 80s top 40, 90s top 40, mariachi, or reggaeton, and it's all the day. They must be on lunch break.
Good mix.
And they're just hammering for fun during lunch. Then we got Brooklyn Bleak says, we already about that. Joe says it's like Hardcore Holly in the day. Said he had an idea. Give me the title. When asked for a story, he said nothing. That's Sean Moxley. Oh, I have an idea. How about put the belt on me? That was Hardcore Holly's idea. Wizard B says, can't wait for the chair shot without a zoom in every hit. Oh,
yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Relax, guys. Oh my God, Jeremy Borash, you're right. That's a great point. And he hasn't been fired yet, right?
No, he's still with the company. He's in NXT.
And he waited out the storm. He was one of Triple H's people that just kind of hid underneath a table during his entire cardiac event. He's just like, no one can find me if I'm underneath here. So they couldn't fire him. But now he's here. He's like, he comes out of the table, smells like shit, hasn't showered in months. And he's just like, it's me, Jeremy Borash.
You know, it's Steve Carino got hired by WCW like a month before they went out of business. Yeah. But he moved. He bought a house, and he never updated his address. So he was really hoping that the WWE wouldn't know his address to send him a pink slip to fire him.
That's funny.
Yeah. So he waited it out, and then it was like he had to get through like 90 days or something, and then his contract would be official, and he would get paid. And on like day 88, they figured it out, and they fired him.
Oh, motherfucker.
But he got so close. He's another guy. He's a WWE. He's a Triple H guy who's at the PC. He helps produce
still there?
NXT. Yeah, he made it through. They fired his wife like a week after they hired her. But
I'm excited for change.
Me too.
I hope so. I'm excited for it. We got to keep moving on. We got a little sad news. You could go to the next slide there, Tam. Jim Ross. Well, not sad news. First, the other stuff. He made the call for going to 1 hour apparently on Dynamite. He made the call. I'm going to guess is because he wanted some bathroom breaks.
Sure.
He didn't want to piss his pants every day. And that's not an ageist joke. He talks a lot about peeing his pants. Listen to Grilling JR. So he's the one that made that call. So it wasn't necessarily a Tony Khan decision, but I bet Tony Khan's just like, great idea. Oh my God, that's such a great idea. And he was like every time JR took a nap backstage, he goes to whispers like, just do an hour. Just do an hour of Dynamite.
Well, I think he probably.
I got an idea. I'll do an hour of Dynamite. Oh, wow.
I think he also probably gets off on having his entrance on television now. He's never had that before. And now every week he gets to do the like, we're going to do, he
loves it.
That. Yeah.
And I'm happy for him because he deserves that kind of like pop, like King always got it.
Yeah.
Whenever
he's worked hard.
He's worked hard. And I am excited to see him have fun.
Me too.
And honestly, when you watch Rampage, Roy hasn't seen Rampage yet. When you watch Rampage,
you outed me.
No, but I wanted to say this, like his commentary is excited.
Oh, good.
He's amped.
Yeah.
Like that, the first match, you just hear his excitement, and he sounds great. Very excited.
What was the opening match?
Opening match was
Dante?
No, it was Blade and Butcher versus Silver and Hangman.
That was the opening match?
It was a good match.
Good. Great.
It was a good match. But yeah, really, JR did a great job with it.
Was Daniels versus Jay Lethal good?
The main event.
Good.
And it was a good match. It was a good match. Nothing really stood out on that show last night for me. Everything was kind of like whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Dante versus Moriarty was fun. Yeah. But we'll talk later about that. But also the sad part about the JR thing is just that the poor guy is having difficulty traveling. Yeah. And it like after the skin cancer thing earlier this year and the radiation, the leg still is very weak. And so he can't fly too often because all the swelling and it's like unbearable pain. And I just feel for the guy.
It sucks. It's really sad.
And, I hope he's able to get in better health. We all do.
Yeah.
But we got to keep moving on, Roy, because we got to talk about next slide. Ric Flair's last match.
This is what I'm waiting for.
Ric Flair's last match announced, and this is the match. Ric Flair and Andrade El Idolo versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Smart booking. Yeah. Smart booking. And I watched the video you told me to watch.
Yeah.
Jesus Christmas. They're having like a root canal downstairs.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're okay.
Okay. I saw the video of that, like kind of like showing the history of it. And it was all, you're right. It's all entirely a work. It always has been.
Yeah.
It's always been a work. And honestly, the video is, God, I liked everything besides Jay Lethal talking because it never is believable. Jay Lethal is never a believable performer.
I thought that beatdown was fucking fantastic. And I'll tell you why.
Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett was really great. So was Flair. Flair was also
Flair
good.
did a great job.
And I thought Jay Lethal did fine. I was really excellent touch when Jay Lethal punched him in the stomach. And Flair said, my surgery wound. Loved it. Thought that was great. Really smart.
Very smart.
Yeah. You know how we talked a lot about sports entertainment last week? We talked a lot about sports entertainment and, Vince made sports entertainment and AEW, sports entertainment, blah, blah, blah.
Everything sports entertainment. Yeah.
If wrestling had never become sports entertainment, that's what wrestling would be. There was nothing really sports entertainment about it. Yes. I mean, in theory, sure. But this is what I'm saying by that. There's a lot of swearing. It's very unpolished. Like, it's like kind of rusty. It feels a little low budget. But it also is believable because these guys are really believable. Flair and Jarrett are super, super believable. And they're, sure. I'm just saying, they're drawing on real life. Sports entertainment to me is polished. This was not polished.
You want to call TNA sports entertainment with some of their wacky storylines?
That's bad sports entertainment.
No, but it's bad sports entertainment. The budget has nothing to do with sports entertainment. ECW was sports entertainment.
Hold on a second.
Sabu coming to the ring in a stretcher with a mask on with chains.
Yeah, but people were doing that before Vince. That's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to think of an example of I don't know. I can't think of a good example of an imitation of something doesn't always have to be the thing. But what I'm saying is this is if Vince McMahon had never introduced, here's the thing. Wrestling without Vince would have naturally become sports entertainment over time in order to stay relevant. It was
already, you made a comment last week about it always being sports entertainment. And I was thinking about it earlier this week. It has always been sports entertainment because I like thinking about Gorgeous George and thinking about the Sheik and thinking about some of these characters.
Jamie Dundee or Bill Dundee. All I'm saying is if it had just been those guys, and in the through the territories and the Crusher and Baron von Raschke and all those guys, this is what would be happening right now. This is what wrestling would be, and I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought
it was a lot of fun. And Jarrett, my God, was this was the best thing Jarrett's ever done because his eyes, his face,
even his wife,
crying.
Karen Angle was good, or Karen.
But there was tears in his eyes. It was great. And all this, like, it's a great build. And honestly, like, if Conrad wants to make what I like about this promotion that he's starting, this kind of like because I see
Jim
more
Crockett Promotions.
This Jim Crockett Promotions, but having like the main event be like someone's last match. We finally get there's plenty of people that I would love to see their last match, you know, and that we'll never get to because AEW doesn't really have the time. That WWE doesn't have the time either. But like, for instance, like someone like Big Show.
Sure.
Big Show could go there and he could have his last match and it'd be a cool send off for him. But like someone,
I get it. I get it.
And like for
care,
people that,
you know,
but that's the thing is like, would people care if Ric Flair, of course, Ric Flair is different.
Yeah, I mean,
but like,
Flair.
But like Big Show, yeah, I think people would. Like, I think a lot of people never got the last match because the two big companies are like, we don't want to put an old person in the ring, or we don't want to save TV time, or we don't want to put enough into it to make it as special. Because if this were happening on WWE, they wouldn't happen. But if it were happening at one of these places, they wouldn't invest the time that Conrad has.
You're right. That's why next year, July 31st of 2023, Jake the Snake Roberts' last match. Here
Don't even joke about that. He has half a foot.
Yeah, and Ric Flair literally doesn't have half his organs.
Ric Flair has a broken foot or something, which is funny. Not funny. We want him to be safe, but also Jeff Jarrett is going to be guest refereeing at SummerSlam. He's got a busy weekend.
You want to talk about somebody who's going to play a major part in the future of the WWE, which is a shame because this podcast is ruined now.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is a little ruined.
It anymore.
It's tainted. It's definitely tainted. Haven't listened to a single episode since.
Yeah.
I have a little bit, I guess. And also they have this fucking scrub in there every now and then when
because Conrad's too busy. I don't like him either. Yeah.
I have no time for even though Conrad is problematic as well. I have no time for his podcast.
Well, he's just good. He's good at it. You know, the most recent Foley.
All Foleys are great.
Yeah,
like, except for the first one. The first one was rambly, but now he's gotten into a groove where now he's like, and he's so like, I'm hearing new things.
I know.
Hearing new things.
Yeah, this most recent one about those two In Your House shows in '97, fantastic, really great, really great, really great.
So we have to keep moving on, though, Roy. We have to keep moving on because we got a rumor going around. Next slide, there, Tam. Someone stopped Michael Elgin from stealing everyone's protein powder.
God, this fucking guy.
Michael Elgin got arrested. Well, a rumor has it he got arrested in Japan for stealing protein powder. Dude needs to keep his gains. I get it.
Oh my God,
I get it.
I really want to like Michael Elgin because he was a really good professional wrestler for a period of time, but he's such a horrible person.
Yeah,
I've told you about the pee story. Have you seen this video? It's brutal. No. It's the most brutal, like, wrestler story I've ever heard, really, because it's a first-hand account on. So Kevin Owens, before he was Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen had the Kevin Steen show, which was like 2011, 2012. He would do sit-down interviews at like indie shows with wrestlers, and they would just bullshit. And Kevin Steen is disgusted. And he's like, you told me you wanted to tell this story, so just fucking tell it. And he's like, all right, this is great. And he tells a story about like basically luring a few women who are like wrestling fans somewhere in Canada into a hotel room to get pissed on. And it's just like assaults and it's disgusting. And he loves it. He's eating it up. He thinks it's hilarious. He thinks it's so funny. So like when all of these other allegations, well, whatever they were, came out about him in 2020, it's like, yeah, no shit. He did all of these things. Look at this. Look at this fucking animal. He's a fucking animal.
Yeah. I first saw Michael Elgin at Cyberspace Wrestling in Wayne, New Jersey.
Love it.
And he was there. And that's the first time, a fucking Matt Jackson stole it from him, but the rolling Northern Lights.
Oh, yeah.
He did that. And I remember thinking like, that because my favorite suplex. Especially then was the Northern Lights,
of course,
and a rolling doing three. I remember thinking like Three Amigos with Northern Lights. Why hasn't anyone done that before?
Right.
And then see Matt Jackson do it just made me feel icky. But I like Michael Elgin.
He was also the type of guy, and like whatever, to each its own. But like he's also the type of guy that like after WrestleMania weekend would be like, I had the best match of WrestleMania weekend, and like he would like really one of those. It's like, hey guys,
cool.
It's not real.
Yeah, he's
it's not real.
You better be careful. You're going to get a bunch of wrestlers trying to beat you up. We got Wizzy B says Jarrett has the best punches in the game, he does.
Yeah, he has really good punches.
He has amazing punches. Yeah. And once he says Karen walking away with Flair's blood on the white suit was awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent touch.
Good stuff.
You know what? And I don't dog on AEW that much, but I would show that brawl to everyone. And I would say, this is how you do a backstage segment. This is how you beat someone up in a backstage segment. This is how you
It was good. It was good.
You got to.
And actually, it was well booked because I bought it. I bought the Jay Letha drama. Rick did a good job of making it seem like he's just like being a dick. Jay Lethal didn't talk about it ever, which is smart because he would have ruined it.
Right.
Because he would have immediately ruined it.
I also loved when Jarrett tries to help him up. I just love the Flair's like, fuck you, Jarrett. I said, fuck off. I think it's so good. I just thought it was so good. I thought it was great. And I said this to our buddy S, but after that was done, I just audibly went, oh God, fine. You got me. I'll buy this thing. It worked. It worked.
It did. And we have one more piece of news for you, Roy. One more piece of news for the people. It is Jesse the Body Ventura is running for president in 2024. Let's go.
He's got my vote. He's already got my vote.
Done it. If you look at his stance on things, he's always good. Always a good guy. One thing I disagree with him on is government spending, but we could change that. He needs to change that. But like on civil rights, abortion, government, political spending, things like that really detrimental. Getting rid of the electoral college. He's right on line, and he's a part of a new party, the Forward Party. And you know who's going to be his running mate?
Who?
This guy. He's interesting, but also he said some stupid things about the Middle East. Andrew Yang.
Oh, really?
Andrew Yang.
Oh, my God.
Imagine that. Ventura Yang.
Yang gang.
Yeah. He wants everyone to get paid a universal basic income.
Yeah.
By the people that are stealing our information and stealing our land and stealing our regular jobs. So we could just have
the first part. I'm into the first part. Give me the money, but I don't want to know why.
No, but like it's because of that. Like because you have an Instagram and they are selling your Instagram because you should get paid to have your Instagram. You should get paid to have your Facebook. Want to know what? A new company comes in, a new manufacturer comes into your town, and all their jobs are automated. So there's no jobs for the town. They should be taxed as if they're jobs, and all that money should go to the people in that town.
It's a good point. I'm in support of this.
I love it. But yes, we're all in support of Jesse Ventura's run, and we're pro Ventura.
Yeah, Jesse can expect your vote.
Yeah, we're LLW is in full support of Ventura. Anything Ventura does. I have a picture of him with his long hair and a skull cap, opening up his jacket with a Jimi Hendrix T-shirt underneath. I was just listening to an interview. He's just like, I love new music, and one band has got me thinking the Who all over again. Have you heard of Greta Van Fleet?
I knew you were going to say that.
God, he loves Greta Van Fleet. And I'm very happy for Jesse Ventura, and I want him to because he hates all politicians, and I love him for it.
Yeah, because all politicians are garbage.
Except for him. He's not garbage. I'm a seal. I'll beat your butt this side of something. I don't know. Yeah. Brooklyn Bleak says, damn, I didn't know all this about Elgin. I really liked him as ROH champ. Did he do the protein theft just to get out of a contract in Japan or something? Well, he claims, by the way, just to go back to that, he says he didn't steal anything. And then he left Japan to go to a family affair or something like that. Yeah. But I think he was deported to Canada.
I wrote, you think I would get deported if I was riding first class?
Right. Yeah, right.
All right. Yep.
Yeah, that's the end of the news, Roy.
Wow.
That's the end of the news. Wow. Jesse Ventura for president 2024.
Can we? I know we weren't going to do a Hall of Fame, but can we just induct Jesse Ventura into the AEW Hall of Fame?
The July 23rd AEW Hall of Fame has Jesse Ventura as its sole member because of all the work Jesse Ventura does in making us believe again.
Yeah.
I believe with Jesse Ventura. I believe in Jesse Ventura. That's his slogan. Oh my God! Imagine if he hires us to be his
I'm ready.
Imagine if we get an interview with Jesse Ventura.
I'm going through some changes right now, and I could really use some guidance from Jesse Ventura.
He would save us so good. Thank you all so much. Thank you all, everyone, for watching LLW. LLW, the weekly wrestle with LLW. Anything else to cover, Roy? Anything else?
Let's all watch Ring of Honor tonight. I think it's going to be a really fun show. They added a couple of fun matches, and it should be a good time. And let's all hope the best for Monday Night Raw. Let's hope.
Real quick though, Claudio winning or no?
Claudio's winning. Yeah, Claudio's winning.
I don't think so anymore.
The real question is, what's the main event? The tag match or the heavyweight title match? Because it better be the tag match.
It better be the tag. It's gonna be the tag.
They deserve it.
All right, friends. Thank you all so much. Have a great night. My name is Red. I'm here with Hammer. See you all on Wednesday. Loser leaves wrestling everywhere. Bye. Count down for us, Roy.
4, 3.
I like turtles. I like turtles. I like turtles. I like turtles.
Olay. Olay.